We're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to CorinCon 2020 for our second featured artist demo. We have Amy Gerardy with us today, who is going to work on this painting that you see before you. I'm really, really excited to let her get to it. But I just wanted to first let everyone know that, first of all, you should visit our artist alley where Amy has a table as well as a number of other artists, authors, crafters, etc. And that's corincon2020.com/artist-alley. I'll post the link in the comments. But please check that out. You can check out Amy's table there. I'll also be posting her links in the comments to this video. And also, you should know that you can now buy con merchandise. We have some t-shirts and some tank tops, and actually if you click on the t-shirt, there are also hoodies and all kinds of other stuff. And oh dear, I need to mute the, this was supposed to be muted already, or was that you?
That might have been me, actually.
That was you, okay. I was like, no, I thought I muted it. Okay, and so you can buy merchandise, and that merchandise has an original design by Amy Gerardy on there. The dragon that is our cue is designed by Amy, and it's awesome. I love it so much. I'm gonna have a hard time only buying like one piece of merch because I really, really love that thing. So please check that out, and all of that helps support the con. We have fairly low operating costs, but we still have some, and they basically all just come out of my pocket. So if you buy some Zazzle merchandise, it will go to covering those costs, and once those costs are covered, they will then go on to being donated to Doctors Without Borders. So I'm going to let Amy take over the show here because this is her gig, but thank you all so much for being here, and enjoy. This is going to be so much fun.
Thank you.
Welcome. Working on muting myself.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to be just coloring this drawing for this stream. Hello. Yeah, I can talk a bit about what I'm doing. So yeah, this is just shading. Yeah, I've sort of already done the line art and coloring, or like base coloring, doing flats, and yeah, working on shading right now. Kind of just roughing in some shapes and stuff to be sure that I kind of like the direction it's going before I completely commit to getting it all detailed and good. I don't know if anything really inspired this piece per se. I guess I've just been drawing like a lot of like happy, cutesy stuff, and I guess I kind of wanted to do something a bit darker just for a change of pace, but then there's like these goofy guys in the corner here, and so I guess it kind of ended up sort of silly anyway. Dark and fun, I think, are maybe some things that people should try and marry more often, I think. So I think I'm pretty happy overall with how this is going, shading wise. So I'm gonna work on details now, probably for a while. cats meowing in the background. I don't know if anyone can hear that. Yeah, you can ask him any questions. I can do my best to answer. I'm using a Cintiq that I bought off a friend secondhand. And it's like a smaller 13-inch one, which is kind of why I'm zoomed in quite a bit. Because oftentimes the artist is like, it's better if you could draw it from far away because then you have an idea of like what your whole canvas is showing. But I like to use like my full wrist movement, so I often end up zooming in quite a bit, but that's why on a second monitor I have pretty much just a copy of the drawing but zoomed out, and that lets me kind of keep tabs on what's happening in the piece as a whole, and I can kind of get the best of both worlds basically. For colors, I guess, I don't know how hard I really think about it. I guess I try not to overwhelm people with too many really bright, different colors. I try to use colors to like direct attention and stuff, and to kind of give contrast. So this one's a little bit opposite of how I normally do it. Usually, like brighter colors is where it's supposed to draw your eye, but I have this kind of bright pink on these little spooky dudes. But she's kind of dark, and that's sort of the point, I guess, is because I'm trying to contrast her from the background. So I guess it's just like I just try and think about what I want to do and try and let the colors support that, and then try to limit how many bright colors I'm using. So like her dress is sort of this like kind of dark purpley gray color. It's not super vibrant, so you're not going to be like, if this was like lime green, you'd be like, oh my god, where do I look? But I'm trying to direct you at like certain points of interest and stuff. So. I guess the other thing I do when it comes to color is I try and pay attention to warm versus cool colors. A lot of times cool colors will like push something into the background, and warm colors will like kind of give you the illusion that it's closer. And kind of the same thing with saturation. Grays and stuff will make something look further away, whereas like vibrant colors do tend to make stuff look closer. Something else, I guess, that sort of helps me decide colors is for this one, I chose this like purple and then this red to kind of be my vibrant colors. And what I did is, before I started any of this, I painted everything in this sort of brown. And it kind of helps to ground it a little bit. You'll see here that I took both of these colors and I kind of mixed it in a bunch of different ways. And that sort of just keeps everything kind of cohesive. And I just sample those when I go to paint. For light and shadow, generally I like to think of a light source. So in this case, the light's kind of coming from this direction. So you'll see like the shadows are sort of on this side. But it's kind of loose because sometimes just for like artistic purposes, you don't want a shadow there, or yeah, so I guess mostly it's like I try and keep to like a rule, but sometimes just to make something clear and readable, or just because you might think it looks better, I'll just like ignore it. And then a lot of times too, what I'll do is I'll have like a rim light on something, even though it doesn't really make sense, just to like have certain things pop. So later on, for example, I might kind of do something sort of like that, just to kind of like draw more attention to her face. Yeah. I manage shading layers in a drawing. This, that's like, it's got line art, and then usually I do this sort of one general sweep of like kind of the overall shadows, and then I'll make another layer and then I'll clip that to the layer below. That's that big like overall shadow layer. It looks kind of like that, which is kind of strange looking by itself. And anyway, I clip this one so that I'm only painting on the shadow layer. And that lets me do stuff like that, so I can paint. And I'm only affecting the parts that I've already sort of drawn. And that just kind of like, it sort of adds a bit of roundness to the shapes, and a little bit more depth, I guess. And I'll do that. Sometimes I'll add another layer after that, and I'll also make sure that I clip it to the layer below. And then this one will usually be like a cold kind of shadow. And I don't always do this, it kind of depends on how I feel, and it's darker. And then it's like just one more sort of layer of darkness on top of that. And I usually set them to hard light, and it just, there's like different blending modes. A lot of artists use multiply. I prefer hard light because it kind of keeps the saturation of your colors, so it tends to look a little less gray, and your drawings tend to be a bit more colorful. But yeah, like I might use that even darker layer to kind of just go over parts where it would be extra dark, if I wanted to define more shapes. And then after that, this is where the line art layer is, and then sometimes after that I'll do a layer that's just for highlights, and this is where I'll paint like very shiny sort of stuff. It's kind of nice that you asked me that, because I doubt I'll get to this over the course of an hour. But yeah, I usually use stuff like glow dodge, and then kind of adjust the opacity. And then yeah, I'll just go in and kind of add little highlights here and there. Yeah, this is the one. So yeah, I used glow dodge. In Photoshop it was color dodge, and it just kind of gives stuff like almost like a metallic sort of sheen to it. So if you look at like that quality, it's sort of got like a little bit yellow, and it's got sort of almost reddish hue around the edges. And yeah, it's just really good for doing stuff that's like kind of metallic. Yeah, and that's sort of all there is. There's like, yeah, just to go over, there's the shading, or the shininess / highlights, line art, and that's just for reference. Doesn't really matter where that is. Turn that off. And then the extra shadows, and then like kind of coloring the overall shadow, and then the overall shadow it's sort of like a mask, just to control where you're painting. I think because this layer is set to like, it's got an opacity, and I want this shadow layer to be darker, I'm gonna not clip it this time, and instead I'll just make a mask. So to select that, and then make a mask, and then it kind of has the same sort of effect, like I'm only painting on what was painted over on this shadow layer over here. Oh gosh, I've worked on the wrong layers so many times. I feel that pain very, very strongly. That's something I've been trying to lock my layers more often so that I don't, like once I'm done the line art, I lock it and then hopefully I never touch it ever again. But then there's always times where you're like, oh no, I forgot to add this detail, and then you go add it and then you forget to lock it again and then you start painting on your line art here. I've done that a lot. That'd be funny because I just did that. I just painted on the wrong layer just as we were talking about it. I was jinxed. I don't know if I don't have that many artists. I guess I have a couple artist friends. A lot of the community that I'm part of is it's a game dev community mostly. I used to work in game development. I used to do like 3D models and 2D art and stuff for games. So a lot of like the community that I'm sort of around just happens to be game devs mostly.
Hey, Amy, sorry to interrupt, but we need to wrap up because we got 1 minute before the next panel needs to start. So if you have any closing comments, now would be a great time. And I failed to post your links yet, but I will go post them in the permanent comments right away.
Okay. I don't think I have much to say, I guess, but thanks for having me. And
Oh my goodness,
really
thank you
cool.
so much for coming. This was so great. I really enjoyed this and learned a few things. I did not know about that glow feature. That's really cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think on Photoshop it's called Color Dodge. It's named slightly different.
Okay, Color Dodge, right. I have seen that, but yeah, all right, that explains. Very, very cool. Thanks so much. We have to end, everybody. Thanks so much for being here, but you can watch this over and over again forever, so. I'm gonna end our stream now if I can find